Patrick Star has his own show. Yes, if you did not know, in 2020, Nickelodeon announced that Patrick Star would be getting his own spin-off series with the show premiering on July 9th, 2021. Since then, it has completed 3 seasons and currently airing season 4. And because you guys absolutely loved my SpongeBob season 15 reference video, we will be doing the same for all of the Patrick Star show. If you want to see a little retrospective of the series and its growth, check out my The Metamorphosis of the Patrick Star Show video, as well as my pre-pubescent impressions of season 1 and my Patrick Star Show reactions. This video will be a bit different from the season 15 reference format, as we'll be going through much more episodes, so the episodes can be viewed somewhere on the screen or in the description. Right now, these episodes you see on the screen will not make an appearance because either 1, there were no significant or any references used, 2, the background character or detail has already been used, or 3, I flat out somehow missed it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you are enjoying these kind of videos and want to see more. This might be the only place on the internet to do both New SpongeBob, Patrick Star Show, and even Camp Coral, so join the experience. And once again, thank you for all the love and support. Alright, let's get under this rock and see what it has in store for us.
Who are you people?
So I suppose we can start from the theme song, as it will allow us to introduce a lot of the focal aspects of the show before we get into the references. I won't reveal everything, as we will go through all the confusion and questions together. So to start off, Patrick has his own show, both literally and in the SpongeBob universe, as he does sort of live streams and television. Perhaps this is why he can afford to do nothing in SpongeBob. Maybe he gets residuals and royalties from all the episodes he has filmed. For his look, he has on a shirt and pants combo where the colors resemble his original signature shorts. We are introduced to his family, his parents Cecil and Bunny, his adopted sister Squidina, and his grandfather Grandpat. So this already has caused major controversy amongst SpongeBob fans for many reasons. One major one being that it was said that the creator Steven Hillenburg did not want any spin-offs, which the fans took with and ran as the truth, when in reality he stated he just did not envision a spin-off, but didn't flat out deny it. And the second one is the new family's inclusion stomped on a lot of the air quote established continuity fans have cemented. So Patrick's parents, they appeared at the very end of I'm with Stupid. Later, in season 4, in the episode Rule of Dumb, the family tree of Patrick and Gary reveals their names and connection. Then 14 years later, they would make their final appearance in season 12's Patrick's Tantrum. So when the mom and dad got a completely new redesign and a more utilized and a bigger role to be used for the Patrick Star Show, people were furious about this. Oh, and fun fact, Herb and Cecil actually share the same voice actor. Squidina was also controversial, albeit not as bad as the parents, as in season 2, Something Smells, while Patrick was spiraling, he mentions that he did not have a sister.
If my sister finds out, oh wait, I don't have a sister.
Fast forward to season 7, Big Sister Sam, and it's revealed that Sam is a long-lost sister. So the no sister continuity gets crushed a few seasons later, but they also never utilize Sam again in the series. Are we sensing a pattern here? So Squidina becomes the adopted sister of Patrick, so while not blood related, still establishes her as his sister, which still goes against season 2's and season 7's inclusion, considering where the Patrick Star Show is in the current timeline. And Grandpat is a totally new inclusion, as he is not on the family tree above Cecil Star. So I mention all of this because this is something many people cannot accept or get over, as the Patrick Star Show has moved around canon events and backgrounds when a lot of those said inclusions never really were being utilized. However you feel about it and its impact on its own self-made, stern, and strict continuity, we can agree that they are now actually being utilized in a much better way. Okay, with that out the way, oh look, our first 2 references to SpongeBob, as we see a youthful SpongeBob in the crowd of the Patrick Star Show, and Hans pouring coffee into the mug. Squidward seems to be a newspaper boy and not the Krusty Krab. The notes being played here sound similar to the SpongeBob theme song. Plankton and the Chum Bucket have a commercial. The iconic from Shanghai is said as he arrives to the table. Squidosaurus Rex is here from the Sponge Out of Water movie. Am I crazy, or does that frame look like the SpongeBob movie? SpongeBob gets referenced as he has a bubble act to perform on their show, possibly his skills that we saw in Bubble Stand and Culture Shock. Patrick sleeps on his rock instead of under. And finally, Patrick's parents wish him goodnight and they actually forget who he is, which can definitely be a I'm with stupid reference, which shows how both sides forget if they are related.
Who is he again?
I have no idea.
SpongeBob is here with a redesign. Well, actually, it's not. It's time to review the earth-shattering news, if you didn't know already. The Patrick Star Show is a prequel to the original SpongeBob SquarePants. So this SpongeBob is actually a younger version of SpongeBob, as his redesign gives him curly hair in the front, a red bow tie, and new spiffy shoes. To add on, he states that
I could also use a job.
which means he's not currently at the Krusty Krab. We get a closer look at Squidward working, a nice little chipper redesign with some bumps on his nose and lighter color sleeves, which means Squidward is also now working at the Krusty Krab. We'll revisit this later, but for now, SpongeBob is bagging groceries at his new job. When the fish says,
I'm so sorry. I thought you were a box of cereal.
this is a direct reference to As Seen on TV. Oh, but actually, Bran Flakes is hanging in the store. SpongeBob changes clothes and it's similar to the Technique spin, though this can just be him spinning. Fred is in a noir TV show where they question about
My leg?
we see the OG trio or future trio together for the first time. And the porpoise has some harsh words to say to Squidina.
Let me go, you little...
Hey, watch your language.
He has such a sailor mouth. Doesn't their fighting feel like the epic Fry Cook Games match? Patrick and the goofy Scoobers worker from the SpongeBob movie seem to have a rivalry which stems from Patrick destroying his truck. Maybe this is why he's always miserable. Captain Quasar and Patron get introduced as the new sort of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy superhero presence of the Patrick Star Show. This is basically me and all other reactors.
You'll be watching me watch cartoons.
Bubble Bass makes his first appearance as the vast couch surfing leads them to his... And we also see Larry the Lobster. Gary makes his first appearance as him and SpongeBob cannot settle with a dance number. Another first time appearance in the series, we see Sandy, looking younger with her glasses. Now, this does ruin her initial meeting of SpongeBob we see in Tea in the Tree Dome. But if the canonical origin of everyone is in Camp Coral, well then it pretty much shatters the original origin of Sandy. But let's focus on a fun aspect, which is Sandy messing up her inventions instead of being proficient and efficient. Reg from the Salty Spittoon is punching Patrick. We see Goo Lagoon, but it's a fantasy. The music from the Suds cleaning montage plays as they pull out the tooth.
Okay, everyone, we yank on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3!
Hey,
Mr. Krabs has his first appearance as he shows up to the yard sale. Grandpa travels all the way to the future.
The year was 3000 AD.
It is still way before SB-129, as they are in the year 4017 AD. Squidina says, like SpongeBob. A sea bear is shown and does occur regularly in the series. The Patrick Star Show is finished.
well, we had a good run. Ah.
Alright, looks like this video's done. To everyone's surprise, Patrick has a bookshelf, and we see so many fun callbacks, the most standout one being the iconic and helpful story of the ugly barnacle from Something Smells, and Dirty Dan from Survival of the Idiots. Caveman technology can be when Patrick said the iconic lines,
We're not cavemen. We have technology.
and a fun quote from I Had an Accident, as there's a book on
Washing an old person.
Squidina needs to be in jail. She has quasi gummy kiki candy fish just like Dale from season 6 Ditchin'. Donna from Doin' Time marked their territory in the bathroom stall, and this date is when the episode aired. The Flying Dutchman makes his first appearance and he looks much younger and has his own ghost selling company. There are odd real-life parody dolls of SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs, as SpongeBob sings the SpongeBob theme song.
I live in a papaya under the sea. Sponge smash.
And if you thought this show couldn't get crazier, it turns out there is a time machine. This will play into some of the more fan service heavy and sci-fi episodes later in the series, as well as make a century controversial appearance in a future SpongeBob episode that would officially connect the two shows, which we will get to in a future video. This next one will cause some doozies, as it messes with many canonical and firmly established points that fans say is the word of Hillenburg. Basically, it goes like, the 3 houses we have come to know were always there. We learned the backstory of SpongeBob's pineapple house from the episode Truth or Square, where a pineapple fell from land onto Squidward's garden while SpongeBob was house hunting, and he decided to move in next to Squidward and coincidentally, Patrick. Going back to the Patrick Star Show, SpongeBob is sent flying into Bikini Bottom where he hits an already planted pineapple that's cheaply up for sale. with one house under construction, being Squidward's, and a vacant spot of land right next to it. Now, this poses many problems, as if we are keeping it solely based on seasons 1 through 3, then most people would disregard Truth or Square and pretend it doesn't exist, which also means they would not count the Patrick Star Show's origin even if it slots perfectly as a prequel. But for those who do consider Truth or Square to be the origin of SpongeBob's house, then the Patrick Star Show disrupts that. As SpongeBob suggests,
Hey, this is a nice fixer-upper.
when we know the house was dropped and immediately purchased. So everything becomes more confusing the more serious and serialized we try to make sense of it all. It's almost as if this show's continuity is ever changing. Crazy, right? And if you thought the confusion was over, it is not. For the first time in the series, we see Granny Tentacles as her and Grandpad are bathing in coffee. Now, you may recognize her and say, Ed, but this is Squidward's mom. Remember season 4 Krusty Towers where they get her cookie recipe? Oh, that's not her? Well, remember in April Fool's where she said,
You stink!
and to that I say, the creators changed the design. Yeah, they overhauled her design, as Granny is a much more reoccurring character in the series than the mom. Not as confusing as the house debacle, but can still be confusing if you haven't kept up. Ah, my head hurts. Luckily, the last reference of this episode is a recognizable one, as the newspaper boy from Hall Monitor reports the news.
Extra, read all about it! Extra, extra! City paralyzed with fear!
Is that Kelp Nougat Crunch from Rock Bottom? Here's the doctor from the Lost Mattress. Patrick takes off his baby fat and he turns into his voice actor, Bill. Richard, or the hash-bringing Hasher, is in the background eating at the Chum Bucket. I'm more surprised there are people here at the Chum Bucket. Patrick's dad quotes his bathroom stall, just like Patrick did with the candy bar wrapper in Survival of the Idiots.
Wow, that's beautiful, Dad.
Thanks. I read it on the wall of the bathroom I built.
Patrick's age range is revealed as he says,
Hold on. Ah, I'm a teenager!
Patrick says a mini.
Little.
While at the carnival looking for Squidina's gift, we see anchovies are waiting to see the Alaskan bullworm, the world's largest plankton, a bearded Mrs. Puff, perhaps before her life of crime, and disturbing SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs fusion?
Hey, that's my family you're talking about.
Oh, sorry. Mrs. Puff tries to kiss Patrick? Oh. Okay, maybe I understand. The Klopnodian Festival is here, which is where Bunny is from. Big Sis Sam, or I guess just Sam, is here, at her stew on a stick stand. There's Carl from Krabby on Mondays, as well as the guitar player from Season 5's Sing a Song of Patrick. Fred says,
Oh, my leg!
Man Ray's first appearance as we see him get released from jail. He wields the power glove that we saw in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. The jail superintendent from Inmates of Summer releases him. On Man Ray's map of his underground hideout, we see a pineapple house. He also references SpongeBob's secret inception paradox from the box, as he says his own plethora of secretly.
All you need to do is secretly sneak inside their basement, find the secret tunnel to the secret door, and secretly grab your secret evil bomb! Secretly!
Man Ray is holding the same Krusty Krab pizza box from Pizza Delivery, and the real pizza delivery guy's name is Luigi, not Mario from the New Student Starfish. I would have loved to see the Pizza Castle reference. We see jail photos and the Dirty Bubble and Jumbo Shrimp. And it seems this is not the tickle belt as seen in episode 17, since it fixes his body placements. We see Man Ray's rad lair with the Evil Lemons poster, and apparently he left a kid who's here still. Oh. We see different Man Ray suits, many references to popular superheroes. Man Ray has a doomsday bomb which actually destroys the entire universe. We see baby versions of popular background fish from Bikini Bottom. In the background we see Mr. Krabs' house, and in the playpen we see SpongeBob's pineapple and the Krusty Krab. Patrick's puppet says the magic word is...
That's not very kid-friendly.
Pearl's first mainline, not background, appearance in the Patrick Star Show, and her redesign, which is just being shorter, looks great. She's also Squidina's friend and still cries a lot. She wants to be a star, just like in Culture Shock. Grandpad and Mr. Krabs share war stories, and Mr. Krabs' ship has the same banner and shape as the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob and Patrick finish rewatching a Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 10-day marathon. They use Patrick's time machine to go back in time to watch them in their prime. They go too far back in time and end up at a superhero daycare. We see baby Man Ray, Dirty Bubble, and of course, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, as well as other kids with super abilities. This would intervene with the origin story of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy from Mermaid Man Begins, as they did not grow up together as their many origin stories have stated. Though in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, Mermaid Man does have a picture of them when they were kids, so technically the Patrick Star Show version actually aligns with the original in this case. Man Ray is still tossing Patrick. SpongeBob and Patrick alter and influence the fabrics of time as he reads the future comics to the children, teaching them the ways of good and evil. So when they go back to the present, the heroes and villains come to punish and get revenge on SpongeBob and Patrick for making them fight instead of being at peace. Pretty wild and earth-shattering to find out that they are the cause of good versus evil, much like how Squidward is the one who created jellyfishing. We get a live scoop of SpongeBob's first ever driving lesson with Mrs. Puff. I don't think Mrs. Puff knew what she was signing up for. This could be a regular seahorse, but it could also be mystery. I don't know.
Welcome to the Patrick Show mid-season finale
of season 1. Fred says, as we flip through the channels, this seems to be an odd reference to the gorilla from I Had an Accident. Maybe? And the hyped up celebrity guest was...
It's me, Bootsy Collins, baby. And I'm just filling in for Patrick.
Sure. As we enter the title zone, the clown from As Seen on TV passes by. And in the audience, we see Old Man Jenkins and the nerd fish from No Weenies Allowed. Since this episode mentions it, I briefly wanted to explain the Title Zone event, as it is the first time the series had a crossover with both SpongeBob and Camp Coral. The Title Zone is a parody of the Twilight Zone, so it allows Bikini Bottom to enter some supernatural and mystical territory that the regular show can't seamlessly leap into. There isn't much to include as Grandpad is simply just flying through timelines, but he does invade the iconic SpongeBob intro theme song during the A Skin Wrinkle in Time portion. If you've enjoyed the video so far, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Any and all support helps. Alright, let's finish season 1. Squidina apparently rents an invisible boatmobile.
Be careful with that invisible boatmobile.
After Fitzpatrick shoves Patrick into the time machine, Patrick comes back with many other Patricks from different timelines. We see Pat Gar from SB129, Dirty Dan from Survival of the Idiots, Patrick solving the puzzle from Pineapple Fever, Dungeons and Dragons Patrick as a beautiful woman from That's No Lady, and many others. The talking fish head narrator makes his first appearance. More Squidward is getting his respect and thanks for his work, which is the opposite of what he gets in SpongeBob, as we all know. The same music from Squidville plays as Squidward is on the screen winning.
Looking really cool.
We are given a quick history lesson of Squidward and Patrick's ancestors. Is said, as the Star family gets unleashed, we see more of the Flower Arch building that we see in Pizza Delivery, and many other parts in the series. It was actually a part of Steven Hillenburg's original first concept map, and is the only building to not get a bigger part in the show. At the very end of the episode, as the Star family house gets led back into its original city, this is a great time to mention the location of where Patrick and his family reside, Ukulele Bottom. This reference is actually a deep cut, but it does originate from the first season of SpongeBob. Do you remember the episode I Was a Teenage Gary, where Squidward pet sat Gary? Well, where do you think SpongeBob and Patrick went?
The annual jellyfish convention in Ukulele Bottom.
And after this mention, the city and name never got used again until the creation of the Patrick Star Show. The same cork that SpongeBob uses in Home Sweet Pineapple to stop a drilling Patrick is used. Nosferatu from Graveyard Shift makes a guest appearance on the Patrick Star Show. We see a younger Lazy Mary and Baby Prunes from Chocolate with Nuts. Sort of. The full song of the Krusty Krab training video is used in this montage. Patrick is reading the SpongeBob comics. Patrick invites Pearl, Elwood from Camp Coral, SpongeBob, and even other timeline versions of himself to a party. Patrick says, like in Hall Monitor. For an episode about imagination and fun, I was surprised there wasn't any inclusion of the classic reference. But luckily, there could potentially be a reference here, as the two-headed Patrick reminds me of Patron from SB129, which also shares the same name as Patron from the Patrick Star Show. SpongeBob's face is on his bottom, like Patrick's was in Neptune's Spatula. Grandpad shows Patrick his old friend group, the Kelp Bed Kids, which includes Mrs. Puff, Mr. Krabs, Granny, and Old Man Walker from 1927. So this could potentially ruin Mr. Krabs and Mrs. Puff's origin story from Krusty Love. There's a young Old Man Jenkins. And at the very end of the episode, we see them all together in all their wrinkles. And Patrick potentially a secret member?
Nuts.
This is the Cave Patrick show, though it's not Patcar. Patrick's original rock is the television. Patrick says, this multi-organism looks like the Dirty Bubble. The multi-eye monster from Your Shoes Untied eats an audience member. Fancy guy Charles from Grooming Gary is in attendance. Just like the sea bear, we see many new types of sea monsters. And King Neptune makes his appearance with voice-acted lines. And he is actually the Patrick Star Show's biggest fan. We see more of Patrick's ancestors, but doesn't seem any connection to his previous established family tree. Nosferatu and the Flying Dutchman are up for awards. Patrick has a hot cousin. Did I say that out loud?
I want a coconut! That guy got hit in the head with a coconut!
Patrick is naked like he was in Pranks a Lot. Fred says, we see photos of Squidward with long hair like in the original Fry Cook, and Squidward's cousin from Stanley S. SquarePants. Bubble Bass runs his own review channel, because of course, and he's reviewing the Patrick Star Show. He makes this comment, which we know is straight from episodes such as Life of Crime.
Look at this. Fire? Underwater? You can't do that in real life. I hope someone gets fired for this.
Is that a My Little Pony reference?
My tiny seahorse.
The teeth and you goofed sections have definitely been said by SpongeTubers.
Clearly enters frame right to left, whereas previously it was traveling left to right. The shots don't hook up. My immersion is ruined.
This episode gets extremely meta, as what he says about the Patrick Star Show is what you're going to see when you ask the internet what they think of it.
Every episode of this show should be tossed in a dumpster and set on fire. The Patrick Show is a crime against humanity, and everyone involved with it should be thrown in jail.
Bunny works at the Bikini Bottom jail. Popeye Fish from No Weedings Allowed is in prison. Slappy has a Patrick shrine, much like Helga from Hey Arnold. You see the tall Patrick in the fishnets and the black boots from the movie, his original shorts, and some of his drool from earlier this season. And that is the end of season 1.
Needles and gentle needles.
And before we jump into season 2, there are 2 occurrences of the Patrick Star Show in season 13 of SpongeBob. The first one, in Ride Patrick Ride, we see his memory being cleared of his family, and it is the Patrick Star Show family. And in the episode Friendiversary, there's a photo with SpongeBob's curly hair, and when he is regaining his memory, we see clear frames of him and Squidward with their Patrick Star Show younger designs, and we even see Camp Coral referenced before this. So through the eyes of SpongeBob, he has known and is aware of Patrick's family and camp.
Are you ready for season 2?
King Neptune continues his love for the Patrick Star Show, and we see Bubble Bass nodding his head in disapproval from the season 1 finale, Bubble Bass Review. Those are references, but I have to include something because...
That's the entire season 2 budget. Sorry, everybody.
The real estate woman from Opposite Day is helping with merchandising. These are stretches, but Patrick thinking his dad was a ghost could be a callback to Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. And when Cecil is questioning why Patrick is at his job, he says,
You're not turning to a life of crime, are you?
Patrick immediately follows this by saying,
Not yet, Dad.
which has to be foreshadowing of the stolen free balloon from the episode Life of Crime. We see dead/zombie versions of Bikini Bottom citizens. Patrick has a goofy goober hat and a triple goober berry sunrise from the SpongeBob movie. This house full of snails has to be derived from Gary Comes Home, but this snail lady isn't the same one, as it's snails on top of each other. SpongeBob and Patrick are roughing it, like they did in the camping episode. They are even scared that a sea bear is outside their tent.
A sea bear!
SpongeBob and Patrick put on their classic Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy costumes from the first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Patrick brings back the Astrology with Squidward segment, but unfortunately this scientific guide is not available in Rock Bottom. This is the first time we see Sandy's tree dome. We also see Sandy's rocket, which is blue instead of red. Fred says,
My leg! My leg!
and is that a Pink Floyd reference? Patrick is stuck in the bathroom. While not the exact same, him saying,
Open recipe!
has to be a reference to Survival of the Idiots.
Open sesame!
Soon, every person in Bikini Bottom is stuck in the bathroom, including the pirate and his crew from Dying for Pie. Big Sis, just Sam, is in attendance for the wedding. We get an adorable montage of SpongeBob and Patrick's friendship. We see them throughout time as cavemen similar to SB-129, then as amoebas, as Patron and SpongeBob's robot version, being the plankton robot from Welcome to the Chum Bucket. Even in old, or future, however you look at this, season 1 and 2 poses, and even the real life messed up ice cream forms of them. Then we see them in a school setting, which could be the boating school, as the lockers look similar and the painting of Mrs. Puff hangs on the wall. We see them getting litty at Goofy Goobers, and Hans knocks them out. Instead of the Krusty Krab, they eat at the Chum Bucket. We see Karen for the first time in her mobile form. Patrick's list follows the same structure as SpongeBob's from Dying for Pie. The fish head narrator announces the match. Patrick rips his shirt like he did in the Fry Cook games.
Ready! Wait.
The voice actor for Patrick makes an appearance.
So, sadly, this is the end of my show and of me. But I always wanted to tell you guys.
And the Purple Doctor helps Patrick. Save Patrick's life is written just like,
Go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work.
This might be a stretch, but this seahorse looks very similar to the one we see him riding in Sleepy Time. Alright, let me check what people are saying about the show right now.
The Patrick Star Show is an assault on every viewer's taste. Shoddy production value, awful comedy, inane and pandering. It's an insult to the medium of television. Worst show, 0 out of 10 stars. Whoever runs this show should be ashamed.
Patrick is hanging on the ceiling like he did in Nature Pants. It's Goo Lagoon, and not fantasy. It seems the heartbroken tattoo ended up at the Salty Spittoon from No Weenies Allowed. The mom tattoo and wow movement is referring to the Regis tattoo and Sandy flipping it upside down. We see the punk fish, the green fish with the seahorse tattoo, as well as one of the members from the mild ones from the episode Born to Be Wild. And we see tattoos of Gary, Squidward's house, Neptune, the opening island, the sea bear, the Flying Dutchman ship, SpongeBob's house, Plankton, the hash-bringing Hasher, Mystery. Mermaid Man's belt from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4 is on this cake.
Gee, what's everybody spitting at?
It seems that Patrick Star Show is taking shots at Steven Universe.
Welcome to the new Patrick Show. Today we're going to talk about friendship and feelings.
I love feelings.
I can't wait for season 5. We enter the time where we see distorted and abstract versions of Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob, and Squidward. I know these were references, but these moments were too good not to show. Plus, the next one might be the most important. Cecil Star actually worked at the Krusty Krab at some point. Patrick delivers Krabby Patties and eats them before it gets to the table, like he did in Big Pink Loser. Squidina hires SpongeBob at the Krusty Krab. Did they just change Help What? Oh no, she meant Squidward. To get more customers, Patrick summons every Patrick we have ever seen. Bob Ross, Dungeons and Dragons, Patrick in the gorilla suit from I Had an Accident, sexy long leg Patrick, Season 1 Patrick, wrestling Patrick with the Rick name tag and yellow underwear from the Fry Cook games. Now the big series defining moment happens as Mr. Krabs pleads for someone to fix the Krusty Krab, which unintentionally a young Mr. Squidward resets and fixes everything. Mr. Krabs is so thankful that he hires him on the spot. We then get a direct reference to the first episode as Squidward cleans off the loser graffiti. We get to the origin story of how Squidward got his job at the Krusty Krab. Now, in this sequence, Mr. Krabs calls him
Young Mr. Squidward!
but he refers to himself as
Squidward J. Tentacles.
However, we know his middle name is Q for Quincy, but from a future episode in SpongeBob, we have evidence that this is in fact the same Squidward. Oh my god, this is ruining SpongeBob for me. I can't do this anymore.
Vote for this show to be over.
So after Patrick's path, SpongeBob aired Sheldon SquarePants, which has very important implications involving the Patrick Star Show. It seems out of place to fully go into it here, but I will just mention that we see an aged Bunny and Cecil, with the Patrick we are all familiar with. We'll go more into this for season 4 of the Patrick Star Show and season 16 of SpongeBob. A potential reach, but Patrick wants to find something to eat and the clock says 3 a.m. Like in Graveyard Shift? Yeah? No? Patrick is eating the same chocolate bars from Chocolate with Nuts. The cockroach from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 4, who is eating the Krabby Patty, seems to have a gambling addiction. Grandpat says,
I ain't doing any cleaning.
We'll start with your filthy mouth, Dad.
SpongeBob absorbs water like a sponge. Patrick references the official Patrick Star Show poster.
This show's pretty good for me to hate watch.
And now we go into season 3, where Gary leads the revolution just like he did in Grooming Gary. Patrick says, a member of the Dragon Carcass Owners Association features Richard from Graveyard Shift. Not a reference, but Cecil had a Sailor Moon transformation sequence. Just had to mention it. On this time travel sequence, we see different timeline destinations from Amoeba, Jurassic, one that looks like Random Land, but there are two important ones. A timeline where the original SpongeBob series takes place, and another one where everything is chrome like in SB-129. Patrick has King Neptune's crown from the movie. Speaking of Neptune, Patrick ends up in King Neptune's bathroom. It seems we have seen him more in the Patrick Star Show than in SpongeBob. Patrick doesn't know how to drive, which would contradict the episode Driven to Tears, but in the end he gets his license. Shredded. The Krusty Krab has a new dessert item, the patty cake. And while SpongeBob doesn't get hired, he does become the first poster boy for the new item, as he was first in line. Patrick uses the reef blower from Squidsville. In the end, the item is a failure because Patrick stopped everybody in every timeline from getting it, so that is potentially why we have never seen it on the menu. Patrick gets an award, so Big Pink Loser ceases to exist.
Patrick Star!
All right!
The Star family is celebrating the Klobnadian tradition of Swaptoberfest. We see so many different versions of them, but some of the more unique ones are Squidina in Bubble Buddy form, Neptune, the Alaskan Bullworm, Patrick as Hans, and Grandpat as Mermaid Man. We are in the same restaurant as Mrs. Puff and Mr. Krabs from their date in Krusty Love, and even SpongeBob and Patrick in Chocolate with Nuts. The same exact prank shop and prank store owner from Pranks a Lot sells Patrick a whoopee cushion. Anchovies!
So folks, remember,
The way Patrick stops here is similar to how he stopped in Chocolate with Nuts.
Patrick, stop!
Okay.
Patrick is bombing his stand-up, and Harold is heckling him just like in Squirrel Jokes.
When does the comedy start? What smells rotten and puts people to sleep? Your act!
To subside this, Patrick embraces it and makes it a roast, and Grandpat is going off.
Or as I call them, my...
Okay, give it up for Grandpa, everybody.
SpongeBob is not good at comedy once again, or to start out with, whichever makes the crickets chirp.
My cricket is not amused.
But there is a little callback to Ripped Pants, when SpongeBob gains the audience's approval after taking off his pants.
comedy, my name is SpongeBob.
Patrick beats himself up like in No Weenies Allowed. Post-classic era, but Patrick and Squidina go to Random Land, and we learn this is where their ideas are conceived and created.
Ah, shut up!
Patrick fixing the script reminds me of him making a snowball from Snowball Effect. Baby Prune from Chocolate with Nuts is an angel. Mr. Krabs and Plankton have a shonen battle. Back to championship boxing from Idiot Box. Oh my god, the floating shop the ghost from One Crab's Treasure. Never forget the important holiday, Free Balloon Day from Life of Crime. Swaptoberfest from earlier this season is mentioned. Opposite Day, the same exact opening winter shot from Snowball Effect is used on the calendar. Patrick's genius is showing.
That's it! Patrick, your genius is showing.
Again?
That's it. Patrick, your genius is showing.
Where?
Though he says again, so this does conflict with when this takes place. SpongeBob is playing Santa in the play, but he isn't supposed to know about Christmas. Then, as Squidina's play is going to... SpongeBob and Patrick bring back Santa from Christmas Who, though this doesn't add up to the Christmas episode timeline and preceding events.
Patrick here reminded me that the big guy owes us a couple of favors.
We have some very obvious names on the naughty list. And finally, Santa saves the day. What a wonderful way to end season 3. And oh no! Santa's going crazy again!
back to business. Ahem. The Patrick Show is the worst show on television. Patrick Star and Squidina are the enemies of the state. Ooh, they make me so angry.
And that is every single SpongeBob reference my Patrick Star brain could find. This was about a month in the making. I started doing the research, gathering all the references and everything in like July of 2025. And I kind of took more time with it, but also there was a lot more to dive into because the season 15 video, that one was just like 13/26 episodes. This one, I basically covered the entire series, besides season 4, just because that is still airing, so I didn't want to include it here. And plus, I would probably have to wait who knows how long with the way that Nickelodeon releases episodes and schedules and everything. So I just wanted to kind of get this video out, and I also wanted to have the Metamorphosis talk too, just because I really do feel like the series has changed, and it's an actually great show. Yes, I'm a SpongeBob fan, just of the entire IP, the entire universe of it. So, you know, like, you can always call me out for being biased or just, you know, blind to nostalgia or blind to whatever. That's fair. But no, like, I really enjoy what it's been through, what it's doing. And as I said, I just really want to give a shout out to show my praise, the recognition of what the show is, the work that it's doing, the people that are behind it. Because again, at first I thought it was kind of like nothing, or like an abomination. But again, that was just because I was kind of following what everyone else was saying about it. So I got to formulate my own opinion, really dive into it, and yeah, I really see the magic, the growth, the evolution of it. And this reference is, again, just to showcase. You see, like, they still care for the series. They still do it in really, like, subtle, cool ways. And in general, right, I'm just always, my ears, my eyes are always just, you know, oh, is that a reference to before? But I'm saying, like, the show now is at a point where it simply just is its own thing. Like, they really cut down so much of the references. And as I said, now the show can just kind of stand on its own 2 feet. So, just wonderful execution, and I really just cannot wait to see how the show furthers. I think it got renewed for season, well, now we're in 4, but also 5, I believe. And yeah, if you guys have enjoyed these type of videos, I mean, obviously the reception of the first video for season 15 was something I never ever expected in my lifetime. So I'm not sure how this one will turn out. This one could be a flop as well. It could be something that's great as well. It could be something that pushes me to the next idea, to the next thing. I don't really know. So again, if you guys really have enjoyed this type of content, you know, whether it's just this reference video or it's the Metamorphosis analysis, review, synopsis, retrospective, whatever we're gonna call it, then yeah, just always like, subscribe, comment, anything and everything that just shows support. I would appreciate it. I also just appreciate all the new wave of people that have joined the experience, joined the ride. As I said, I'm not really sure where life is taking me. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what this channel is going to be, or if it's even a thing. But I can say that it's something that I am passionate about, something that I knew I kind of always had the ability to do, the knack of, like, content creation, of being on YouTube. So like I said, just thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the new fans, the lurkers, the haters, everything. And I already have some ideas of what's coming up. I'm not going to share that because, you know, these ideas take a little bit of time since it's a one-man operation. But if this video does pretty well, then we will continue on with what I have in my head. So once again, just thank you to everyone. Just please watch the Patrick Star Show. Just fantastic episodes. After season 1, even like towards the end of season 1, it gets great, and then from there it just skyrockets into just getting better and better and better. They have amazing references and callbacks. Yes, some recontextualization, but I don't know. I just love what the series is now. So this is kind of just my big appreciation, my big thanks to Nickelodeon, to the creators, to everyone really involved. And just again, it's me showing my love for SpongeBob, the IP, the universe, and that's all I gotta say really. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Once again, if you guys want more stuff like this, please let me know down below. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you when I see you.